Hello my friends and welcome back to day 12 of the KCM. We've got Team Best versus Team Light. Taking a look at the lineup for this week. Monster versus Kahiri is where we're gonna start. We've got a bunch of mirror matchups though, including Sock versus Mind, Best versus Ruin, Hyuk versus Killer. Pretty much all mirror matchups here today. Everything except for 815 versus Light, and of course these ladies matches. So it's going to be quite different from what we normally expect out of KCM, but it should be a lot of fun. I think ZVZ has evolved a lot recently. TVT as well. These matchups are dynamic and interesting to watch these days. I'm also very interested to see what 815 is going to bring out against Light here. Like, just such a powerhouse of a Terran player. It's going to be very difficult to take a game off of him on Invader. We've also got that TVT matchup on Neo Sylphid, the 3-player map. So no chance of a split map situation there. It's going to be very, very aggressive and crazy. The Best versus Ruin matchup on Apocalypse. You've got that flat ground natural, no ramp into the main, so that's going to affect the matchup quite a bit as well. And finally, our ZVZ on Tempest, one of our largest maps, may end up going into a later game. We'll see if these players can bring it to that position or not. Who's going to be the Spore player? Unfortunately, today is just going to be a solo cast. Shun is not feeling well, so guys, if you miss him, go down to the description, head over to his channel, and leave him some words of encouragement. Let him know that you can't wait to see him come back. But with all that being said, let's hop into game number 1. Hey guys, a quick message here. I think you probably know that this is not going to make a lot of money. Every KCM video I do takes about 3 hours to cast, edit, and upload. And for that time, I'm going to receive somewhere between $10 and $20 of ad revenue. If that doesn't seem like very much money to you, if you love the show and you'd like to support, please consider joining on Patreon. And if you've been thinking about supporting, you know, we'd love to have you. If you contribute with over $5 per month, there's a bunch of extra content on there, updates about what's going on in my life, where I'm going with the show, and you can communicate directly with me there. Your support really does help out a lot. So thank you to everyone on Patreon already. Most of the donations through Patreon go to buying things that improve the channel, improve my casting, microphone equipment, computer equipment, etc. So thank you for investing in me and my videos and the KCM. And now back to the video. Taking it nice and easy here with our first match of the night. Monster versus Kahiri, with Monster starting in 8 racks at the front. She's going to be putting on some massive pressure to Kahiri here, who's looking to be expanding early with a 12 pool. This is a great way to punish an opponent who at a lower level probably doesn't have the drone control necessary to save, you know, to prevent more than 3 drones going down, more than 2 drones going down. Really, if you get 3 drones with this attack, you're going to be laughing. Any less than that, it's still playable. You know, 1 or 2 drones still playable, but if you get nothing with this attack, it's going to be pretty hard to go into the later stages of the game here as Monster. It's going to be hard to catch up, but it's not impossible. This rush is very calculated. It's been refined over time to do as much damage as possible and to be as recoverable of a position as possible. We've got the adaptation of having the wall at the front so that you can easily float back that barracks with an extra supply depot, make it safe, and Monster here gets spotted. The first Marine has been spotted here, heading towards the front. 3rd Marine popping, 4th Marine going to be on the way, getting a couple of hits on this early Marine here with the drone. But drone actually taking quite a bit of damage. Both those drones taking a lot of damage, and I think it's a good idea not to send this drone in the middle of the map home right now, because it'll probably walk by the Marines and end up getting picked off. I want to send that to a different location. We'll see what ends up happening with that. Gotta focus these low HP drones. That drone coming from behind has no HP, by the way. There it is. It actually did arrive. She should be able to just shoot this down. Not gonna target. Okay, Monster making a bit of a mistake there. That was a free kill on that 7 HP drone. Now we have Lings out here, and the bunker is not done. 2 SCVs, 4 Marines, but this is 6 Lings. Should be able to get on top of this and pick these off. 1 Marine goes down, 2 Marines about to go down. The bunker does finish, but only 2 Marines remaining and 1 SCV here at the front. He's going to make another bunker. More Lings popping out here in just a few moments. Only 1 Marine's not going to be enough to actually stop this Sunken colony from finishing and pulling the drones, but not really necessary. Sunken will be able to finish in time. And not even this SCV and 1 Marine can stop that from happening. Looks like with 2 bunkers here, the second bunker is in range of the Sunken colony, but gonna pull everything and go after the bunker now, killing the SCVs with the drone. Only 1 drone's gone down so far. I think a second one's being targeted, but the bunker dies, and only 1 drone is lost. So quite a few Lings were forced. Let's see if any more Lings are gonna pop out here. If she was panicking, building more Lings during this this fight here, no. Drones on the backside of this, so Kahiri in a decent spot now. Not a lot of drones here in the main base, but that's fine. Monster's just now starting her command center. Let's see if she's got the perfect wall here. Has she made this airtight, Ling tight? Oh boy, the barracks lifting off at the wrong moment here, but just barely lands in time. Able to save that. Kahiri not going to be able to deal any damage. You can just see how powerful the 8 Rex is. Even with all of that commitment from Monster and only getting 1 drone kill, she's still going to be able to get her command center up here with just 2 Marines behind that wall. Nothing that can really be done by Kahiri from this position. Engineering bay on the way. We're going to see a +1 build here. Very quick +1 out of her. Lair has started here. Kahiri and Monster kind of neck and neck at this point. I would say Kahiri should have a slight advantage, but then again, you know, a lot of Lings were produced. It's hard to say at this point in the game who's actually ahead right now. Missile turrets are on the way. We're gonna have a 2 Rex timing here. She's gonna want to hit that timing so she can push out and threaten the front, but I don't know if this is going to be that effective because we've got a Sunken colony here at the front already. So adding on an additional Sunken colony, that's enough already to hold the 2 racks timing. Maybe she's going to add some more racks here instead and wait for that +1 to kick in. Adding on some turrets here. That turret in the main is actually way ahead of schedule. We really don't need that yet. We don't need this turret yet either. So actually Kahiri, or excuse me, Monster, kind of building things a little bit too early, being a little bit scared that maybe the layer started faster than she thought. Second missile turret here in the main. These are really early turrets, so Monster kind of cutting at her own limbs here, slowing herself down by just not having those scanners up in time. Scan was coming in a bit late there. If she'd had the confidence to just wait for the scanner, maybe she could have cut those turrets. You don't really need to build the turrets until like even another maybe 10-20 seconds from now. It takes about the same amount of time for a Muta to fly across the map as it does for the turret to build. So like even this turret is too late, right? This one she's building or too early, excuse me. This one that she's building right now, that's too early. You want to scan right about now. See that the mutas are in the eggs. That's kind of when you want to be starting to build turrets. And they're going to finish right as the mutalists arrive. So Monster, her play in the early game was very strong. Getting some damage there. Maybe missing some kills on those drones, but getting herself into a decent position now has kind of thrown away a bit of that advantage by building turrets a lot too early and slowing down her barracks, slowing down her factory, all that good stuff. And a third base now in the top left for Kahiri. So that's where we're going to go with this. We've already got the Hydralisk Den down. We've got the Queen's Nest as well. That's been spotted. So definitely a transition coming here. 3 hatch play with a 4th in the top left. Kahiri's going to have a lot of production here. But she can, what can she do with these mutas? These turrets have been up for like minutes at this point. I guess Kahiri really getting thrown off, or excuse me, Monster really getting thrown off after the 8 racks. You know, adding on those turrets at about the 6-minute mark is when you would expect Mutas to come in if there was no harassment, but since there was quite a lot of harassment in the early game, we're now at 8 minutes 30, and the Mutas just flew in for the first time. Now here at 9 minutes, we're almost at a full stack of Mutas, so things have been slowed down a lot. We're now into 4 racks play here for Monster. She's got her production facilities together. She's ready to really start producing here, trying to get up into the top right-hand corner. Now flying in. Oh god, these reinforcement Mutas just added into the group. That was not a good move here for Kahiri, losing 2 Mutas for free and really not getting that much damage done. Can see the difference between these higher tier players and kind of the mid-tier players like Kahiri, really struggling with that Mutalist control. It is so difficult to control these Mutas, to get the most value out of them. Kahiri really not getting that value in this game, and now Monster's going to push out with a big group of Marine Medic, and these Mutas are just not ready to fight. They are not in a position to push this back, to overwhelm this Marine force. She's got plenty of Overlords in the middle of the map as well. Those are going to end up being killed off. We've got 1 Lurker being morphed here in the top left, and that's just not going to be enough. Are we going to see Kahiri just fizzle out here in the early game, or will she be able to hold on? It all depends on where this first Bioforce goes for Monster. Monster going to start to head up towards the top left. Kills off an Overlord, and she spots the high ground here. Oh, that Lurker Egg is not in a position to actually block this. You really have to be careful about where you place this Lurker Egg. I think that the Marines can just run straight up that ramp there if they are in position in time. There is 1 Lurker burrowed there now, so it is going to be a little bit more difficult. This, oh god, this Hydra as well. Oh, my Zerg guys. Losing that Hydra so bad. Really needs to get the Lurkers stacked up here. She does get the second Lurker in position, so Monster not going to attempt to break through there, but already you can really see the cracks in Kahiri's play, and Monster is going to be able to exploit those. Even if you are, you know, a mid-level Terran player, exploiting the Zerg player at this point in the game is not that difficult. This is the point where Zergs really struggle getting into their hive tech, getting up their 4th base. It's a lot can go wrong, right? Getting in there with drop ships is super annoying. It can actually just end the game for you. Continuously throwing down irradiates and then trying to go for a bust when there's no Lurkers left and no Dark Swarm. That can just end the game as well. Or alternatively, Monster can take huge portions of the map. She's got complete map control here. She can take a 3rd base, a 4th base, get into battle cruisers and start sending them across the map. You know, 3-4 Stargates can be supported off of 3-4 gas geysers. So we'll see what combination of those things Monster wants to go for here, whether she wants to go for dropships or not. Monster making her way over here to the top left, picking off a couple of drones I heard die there. One of them off screen, gonna come up and go for an irradiate. Don't want to lose that first science vessel. Be very careful not to let that die. There are a couple Scourge mixed in here, along with some Mutas. Oh, the Muta's gonna be sent in by accident. Looks like they got baited in. You need to have these on hold position. Coming in once again, getting another Radiate down here. Do we have that Nidus network attached just yet for Kahiri? She really needs to get that up as soon as possible so that Defilers, yes, it is connected now. So Defilers and Lurkers can slip through and reinforce this position. Quite a good drone count here so far for Kahiri. So she has been adding on a good number of those, really getting into her macro here. But her upgrades, we'll see how those are progressing and whether or not she's able to swiftly and securely take this 4th base here. It's going to be up to the positioning here and the Dark Swarm. There we go. Actually killing off one of those Science Vessels as well. Very good move here for Kahiri. She's going to be able to push forward and quickly take this 4th base. And we're progressing here quickly towards the point where Kahiri is going to be able to start taking map control once again with her Ultras. Assuming that's where she's headed with this play. She's added on more hatcheries in the main, and there's no indication here that Monster is planning to go for dropships. We just haven't seen that yet. In fact, she's planning, I think, going into Battlecruiser here on just 2 Stargates, so really needs to add on a 3rd Stargate. With that 3rd gas now operational, you can afford that and really start to pressure this 4th base location. Put the Battlecruisers over the edge of the wall and start to hit that extractor. We'll see if she goes for that type of play. It can be very, very strong at slowing things down. Right over top of this wall here to the right side of the screen, we just saw is an excellent location to harass with Battlecruiser. You could also send them down towards the main base just to create a bit of a distraction. Oh boy, one of the Defiler just getting sniped there. Good snipes by Monster. Could have probably stimmed with a scan spread and killed those lurkers as well, but just falling back, leaving a little bit of space here. Gonna take one big plague though on the front of these Marines. Unfortunately, we've got the red color there, so it's hard to see how many Marines have been plagued, but a good 5 or 6 Marines getting plagued in that first one. Could come forward and get another big plague here if she wants to. Focusing elsewhere though for the moment over here at the 4th base. That's really the most important location to defend right now. Only 2 lurkers at that spot, and I don't see a Defiler right there right now. There it is. Defiler does walk out. Will throw down that Dark Swarm and keep that safe. Looks like the Scourge gonna come in. Do they get a kill? 1 kill there for the Scourge. Nicely done. Kahiri trading back and forth with Monster here. Trading out Scourge, Defilers, and Science Vessels, but hasn't gotten into the Ultralist just yet. That should be coming very, very soon, though. Big stim here. Dark Swarm. Oh, no Dark Swarm. Goes for the Plague instead. Plague there, and I don't see any lurkers. Okay, there's 4 lurkers under an Overlord here at the Natural, so she is going to be safe in that regard. Look at the gas overall, though, here from Kahiri. Very, very low right now. Very, very low on that gas, and she doesn't have a Spore over the wall. Monster going for exactly that play that I was talking about there. Throwing the Battlecruiser over the wall, gonna start to hit that gas. And if she's able to deny that gas for a good amount of time... Oh, another nice snipe on a Defiler. Another great snipe on a Defiler. She has sniped so many Defilers this game. Monster really outplaying Kahiri so far. And it looks like she's going to kill this gas geyser here pretty soon. No Spore being made just yet. Should be a Plague coming down here in a moment. Plague does come down. Gonna bring forward some Scourge, but not able to kill that Battlecruiser. Very unfortunate losses there for Kahiri. There we go. Spore actually does finish that off, but finding another angle here. Will be picking off that gas geyser shortly. Some ultras starting to pop out, but losing the 4th gas will slow that production down once again. 600 gas in the bank. Oh, look at that. Spore with the angle actually finishing off that Battlecruiser, so keeping the 4th gas alive here. Very, very important moment for Kahiri. She hasn't pushed out to take another base just yet. I think the center left will probably be the most likely base that we see taken here. I don't think that one would be too hard to defend. Just need a little bit of a position out here in the front, as well as a high ground position there at the center left. She manages to hold that location. She's going to be on 5 gas, which will make her Ultralist spam very, very strong. Oh, not going to attack here? Oh, that's interesting. And now the Spore starts attacking. That is such a weird interaction there. Why did the Spore stop attacking for so long and then suddenly start attacking again? I guess there was some sort of a vision problem there. Maybe it wasn't able to see until the Lings moved forward. I'm not sure. Throwing down some more Plague there. Only one of those actually connecting. One of those Scourge connecting. Keeping A lot of Lings here for that Defiler food, getting some good plagues on those BCs and Science Vessels. Kahiri's just about out of the woods here. Very, very close to getting into full Ultralisk production and taking back some of this map. She has the Ultras out here. Gonna be sending them forth. Does not have a Defiler with this. Okay, Defiler does come forward finally. Needs a Dark Swarm here. Not actually paying attention right now. Looks like that could be targeted. The Defiler is probably going to get targeted here. Oh, there's the Dark Swarm finally getting thrown down on these Ultras. Going to clear most of the bio here at the front. Very nicely done. Kahiri slow on the Dark Swarm, but the Ultras have now hit the map. They do not have that Ultra speed just yet. Going to finish off that last Battlecruiser nicely done here. Kahiri, oh, not getting a plague. Could have gotten a huge plague on all those Marines, but failed to do so. Darkstorm going to come down here on the high ground, but there are mines now in position. No Darkstorm energy here. Defiler does end up going down without throwing that Darkstorm, and I love the positioning here on this bunker. I don't think an Ultralisk can even hit this, actually. Maybe after killing the SCV, but these Ultras are just stacking on top of each other, not doing anything. And with an Irradiate thrown in the mix on top of these Ultras, they're going to be hurting each other so much. So Monster doing a great job of holding off over here at this at the third base. Kahiri just doesn't know about the base in the bottom right. And there's going to be a full mech transition here from Monster. She's just holding on as long as she can here, and then switching into, you know, massive tank production in the main base. Lots of Vultures coming out already, starting to throw down mines. Is a great counter to this mass Ultralisk play. And as long as she gets some factories up and running in the bottom right and gets tank on that high ground, this is going to be very hard for Kahiri. It's really a shame that she didn't send anything down to that bottom right in order to scout. Going to come up from behind with these Ultras, start to hit this. Ling's going to come from the front as well. We're going to connect on one of these Science Vessels. Should get a Dark Swarm down on this so that she can clean all of these Marines up. Marines backing away now, and some Battle Cruisers coming into support. Looks like they're going to end up stopping a lot of these Scourge from connecting and keeping the majority of the Science Vessels alive here. Dealing a lot of damage to these Ultras as well, picking them off. Doing a great job here, fighting this back and holding the position outside of Kahiri's fourth base. Fifth base, though, has been secured now for Kahiri. She's going to be getting some drones over that position here very soon with a fifth gas coming online. That's going to give her a lot of leeway here in this game. She could also secure that base down at the 6 o'clock next, but really does need to get down here into the bottom right and find out about this base. Oh no, breaking through here. Ling's coming out, but that's quite a few. The Firebat's just ruining this. Oh my god, this Firebat doing so much work here at the front. Some Ultras are going to pop out. Some Defilers have made it to the front as well. We should have a Dark Swarm here now to hold this off. Ling's making their way into the natural. Going to be hitting a counterattack here. Start to make things a little bit harder for Monster. Taking this base in the bottom right, but there's a base on high ground already. Monster going to start shelling this with her... oh my gosh, she's going to start shelling this with her tanks from high ground. And Kahiri's just not going to know what hit her. Bunker here at the front going to be very helpful in slowing down this counterattack. We do not have a Defiler with this attack, so the Ultras are really not doing too much here. They're going to be picked off by the Marines coming out for the reinforcement. Big plague going down on a lot of that. So many factories up here on the high ground. She really does need to start that tank production. Kahiri still in this game, but she's lost her fourth gas once again. That's a very painful blow. She hasn't been able to deal with these battle cruisers fully just yet. Does have that Dark Swarm there, so able to clean up these Marines and medics pretty efficiently. But the battle cruisers still will be raining down fire once that Stark Swarm does run out. So she does really need to get some Mutalisks and stuff together to start dealing with that. Mutalisks and Scourge are going to be the key to dealing with these battle cruisers here. Plague as well helping out quite a lot. Monster not really doing too much damage with those battle cruisers since she's only hitting Lings under Dark Swarm. Lings making their way down here. The hatchery is still down here in the bottom right, but not for long. More and more units being popped out there at the bottom right. We really need to get some defense over here at the center left as well. We need some sunken colonies. Like 3 sunken colonies is a good number to stop your opponent from just throwing vultures at that base and dealing a lot of damage. Stopping the marine production now is Monster. We've got huge banks for both players. Look at that, 4,000 gas in the bank for Monster. She's going to be able to pump out an insane number of mech units, assuming she does get all of that production online. Kahiri, has she identified yet that this is what's coming? That she's going to have to deal with huge amounts of mech units? Looks like more sunken colonies coming down here at the center left. All the gases are online, but we're at 24 minutes, so main and natural may be out of gas at this point. Sending some units over towards the natural. She should be able to bring a defiler forward and actually hit this natural in full force. There's not a whole lot of stuff here. Quite a bit of marines at the moment, but with the defiler, that's not really going to make too much of a difference. Ultra and Ling heading up to the front. There's the Dark Swarm. Only mines are going to be able to connect in this situation. Does need another consume here, and a Dark Swarm a little bit farther forward. More defilers making their way up to the front. This is going to be really hard to hold on against, but we do have 2 tanks out now at the front. More Ultras making their way in here, though. Plagues going down on those tanks as well. Got to get under this Dark Swarm, deal as much damage as possible. Really need to slow down this Terran player right now. While you have map control here, Kahiri, because pretty soon we're going to have mines all over the map and huge numbers of tanks at each location to just smash through the units that are going to be sent out, the Lings, the Ultras that are going to be sent out before they can even connect with the Terran forces. Vultures making their way over here to the top center, going to be killing off a bunch of drones here. It looks like picking off Ling reinforcements as well. Here we go, trying to break in here. More drones going down right now. Kahiri not really reacting to this. Instead of focusing over here at the natural of Monster, trying to break through. Dark Swarm should be coming down at that location. We should have... Oh! What? What the hell was that? That mine barely did any damage at all. That was crazy. That mine connected flat on. Full on to that Defiler, but the Defiler doesn't take hardly any damage. Now gets a Dark Swarm here on the ramp. This could be real bad news for Monster if she ends up losing her main base. The main base is key. You have to hold on to this location. She just didn't have enough tanks being produced and set up on that high ground to prevent this from happening. And now if Kahiri just continues to rally here, she may be able to break this. Doesn't matter if you have that bottom right-hand corner. If Kahiri gets through into this main and just destroys all the infrastructure, the amount of time it's going to take Monster to rebuild all of her supply depots, it's going to be just too much time. It's going to take too long, and Kahiri will end up running away with this game. So rallying right now is super important. She doesn't have a lot of minerals, so look at how low her mineral count is right now. Just not able to keep that drone saturation high enough. Some more units are slowly trickling in here, but it's giving Monster a little bit of leeway, a little bit of room here in this game to maybe get enough fire bats and tanks out to actually stop the flow of units coming into her main base. Kind of stem that flow, stem that tide of Zerg that's been flooding forward up until this point. One tank is going to go down. That was the only tank defending here on the high ground. Morling's going to come up here. I think she might just barely break this main. It's so close here. It looked like Monster was just about to hold, but it appears she is going to eventually break this. And with everything going down up here, things are going to get really messy now for Monster. Monster's going to have to play kind of a catch-up game here, building a ton of supply depots over at this bottom right-hand base. Getting some Scourge now to connect. This is huge, a huge deal as well. Picking off so many science vessels there. GG. Monster taps out. She loses her main, not willing to go into that long game, taking bases in the bottom right and trying to you know, starve out the Zerg player. It's so hard to play from that position. I understand the tap out, but man, that was close. That was a really close game. It is interesting to see these lower tier players, the tier 2 ladies players, try to battle it out in a longer game. We've seen a lot of them go down in the very early stages, but occasionally when we get into these longer games with ZVT and the mech switch and all that, you can potentially go into a mine out situation. Had she held the main there, we might have seen a Terran victory. We really might have ended up splitting the map completely in half and having those massive tank lines that are so difficult to deal with. But Kahiri getting in there, crushing the main, taking that girl out, and now we're going to jump here into game number 2. Okay, onto the game that I am most excited about in this series, 815 versus Light. I think that this is going to be an excellent game here on Invader. This game is going to look a lot different than that last one. I don't like to make fun of the tier 2 ladies, but this is going to be a pro game right here. Pro TVZ. You know, despite it being the exact same matchup, things are going to look a lot different. Both these players able to maximize their build. You're not going to see Light build his turrets, you know, 2-3 minutes early. Also, we're not going to get that 8 racks. Light, not a fan of early aggression. He is much more a macro player. He wants to deal with whatever aggression comes out of 815 here, and from that position take his advantage and eventually win in a long game, or perhaps just with a well-timed Marine medic bust. But we'll see if that comes to pass here. Getting into a 12 pool is 815. So interesting kind of a build here out of him with a gas. 12 pool with a gas. So this is why I was excited about this matchup, guys, because 815, we know that he's not really a match for Light in the late game, but he's not a late game player. What he likes to do is pull out some cheesy goodness, try to find a way in to kill this Terran player before he really gets his feet under him, or he really gets his balance here in this game. And we'll see if he's able to do that effectively. Light gonna get in and sees the gas is already done here. He knows that he has to expect some early game aggression. What is he going to do in response? He's ready to throw down his command center. He has full scouting information at this point, and it'll be up to 815 now to get rid of this SCV. Really critical that he gets rid of this SCV as soon as possible, because Light is going to, with full information of your build, completely maximize what he's doing. Make sure that he has the perfect amount of units. Oh, he gets it right off the bat too. Oh, Light not sending his worker on a mineral walk command there. Ends up getting trapped and killed immediately. That was some of the fastest SCV tracking down and killing that you'll ever see happen to Light. Like, Light almost never loses the SCV early. He is a consummate professional in Broodwar, and like any professional Broodwar player, gonna be able to keep that scouting worker alive for kind of an insane amount of time, even with Lings chasing it. But 815 tracking it down so quickly means that there's a ton of unknowns here for Light. He's gonna have to play highly defensively here. Has no bunker, which I'm shocked by. I mean, after losing your early SCV, it feels like a bunker is almost a necessity, but another SCV gonna slip in here, and unfortunately 815 send all his Lings across the map. This is something I hate to do. You did not want to send all your Lings across the map. Sending just one Ling here to scout is good enough. He sees the number of Marines. You want to keep those other 3 back at home so that when this SCV comes in, you can trap that and kill it, or at least prevent it from getting into your main base and scouting everything. It's seen all the information it needs to see here. He knows exactly what's coming out of 815. He saw the Spire. He knows it's not going to be any sort of lurker play, so he doesn't need to get his comsats here right away. He can focus on SCV production and marine production, so able to cut those corners and get into exactly the build he needs to counter this. Not a good start here for 815, allowing that second SCV in really negated the value of the first SCV that he killed, right? Killing that first SCV was huge. That was going to be like very, very big value for him, because he was going to force Light to build very quick comsats and possibly add bunkers into the front if he wasn't able to scout the Spire with that first scan. But instead, now he knows exactly what's coming here. He sees the perfect timing of those mutas, and you can see he started the turrets right as the mutas were popping out of the eggs. And so these turrets are going to finish at the exact moment that the Mutalists arrive here. Well, this turret's not. It just started a little bit too late. Turret in the main, though, is going to finish in time. Turret in the natural here finishes in time as well. And 815 is so all in right now. He's only got 3 drones at the natural, mining gas. So he's only able to produce really Mutalists right now. That's pretty much it. Just Mutas and Overlords are all that's going to be popping out of 815 here. I would be shocked if he was able to cycle out even a single group of Lings from this position. He's got a few Lings here already, so he'll have to utilize those at the perfect time if he wants to break Light here. This is a Mutalist all-in, 2-hatch Muta all-in that's come from a early pool. So 815 here, losing his first Mutalist, he has to build up to that critical mass of mutas, and he needs to break down these turrets as well. No more drones being added on here. I think 815 is dead, you guys. I think that scout was too good. Light just knows everything. He knows exactly what's coming. He scans, he sees the natural. Okay, more turrets. That's all he needs to do right now. Just turrets, turrets, turrets. There's the bunker going down, but most of the Lings were spent to kill that bunker, guys. That was all the Lings that 815 is going to have this game, I think. From here, he can only really produce mutas. He's going to come in and start to kill some turrets, but look at how many turrets there are. There's 3 here, and there should be more in the mineral line as well. Actually, I don't see any. Okay, 1 more in the mineral line there. So Light really taking this seriously, as he should. Another bunker going to come up, so just replacing that bunker, and you can see the Ling number has diminished, but the bunker has been rebuilt, and there's more and more Marines every moment. 815, he just doesn't have a way in here. I was really excited to see what kind of play 815 would bring out. I'm a little bit sad to see that it was just this all-in muta play. That's a bit sad. We've only got a small group of mutas here. I don't even know if we've hit that 11 count just yet, because we keep losing mutas. Okay, we are finally at that 11 count. But coming in, just getting an SCV here and there is not going to be enough. He actually has to dominate a position. You have to like break open the natural or main or over top of the barracks. One of those positions has to be dominated by the mutas so that you can really start to snowball things. But look at how many turrets there are here now. 5 turrets in the middle line, 4 turrets at the barracks, like 5, 6 turrets in the main. He just knows all. This is it. Okay, he's making the move, bringing in all the mutas here to try and break the natural. 3 turrets go down. Now he's opened this position where he can start to harass the mineral line, but Light just not going to give it to him. Not going to give him anything to work with. He's just going to abandon that spot and continue to build turrets to kind of defend this location. Mutas have broken that natural. He's not actually mining in the natural for now, but a starport is done and a Valkyrie is about to pop out here. He sees there is an armory here, so he should know Valkyrie about to come out. Kills off a turret over there at the top. 815 Getting some SCV damage, getting some economic damage here. But there's just not a whole lot that he can do right now. Really needs to kill that bunker and the turret, but I think that with the full Marine force moving down, plus this Valkyrie out now, he should be able to shove everything back. He's even got +1 on his Marines finished already. Coming in and just stopping the turrets as much as he can, but 815 building Scourge here. Okay, he's gonna try and go Scourge. Oh, and a Hydra Den as well. So he's gonna go from one all into another here. Mutas are gonna have to kill a ton of SCVs. We're gonna have to see Scourge connect here on these Valkyries perfectly. He needs perfect connections with the Scourge. And then he's gonna have to buy enough time for lurkers to come across the map and deal the finishing blow. That is all the hope that is available here right now for 815. Flying in with the Scourge. All of them do not connect. So those perfect connections I was talking about earlier, not going to be available here for 815. Marine medic count is super, super high right now here in the natural. Oh, I think he can actually get a connection on some of these Scourge. First Scourge does connect, but all the mutas disappear. And with the mutas going down here, all hope is lost. 815 will have to tap out. GG. Light takes this game away. 815 with the unfortunate positioning on his links, not able to deny the scouts of Light. Light just sees everything. He knows exactly how to counter it, and he does so with perfect efficiency there. Just a standard game for Light. He knew that 815 was going to have to pull out something cheesy. And he made sure that he was able to find out what that was and counter it. Nicely done. Let's jump into game number 3. And now it's time for TVT. Jumping in here with Sock versus Mind. TVT is an interesting matchup. It's become more and more interesting here in the previous year or so, as players have begun to lower the game times quite substantially by acting more aggressive in the early game, by taking bigger advantages and forcing out opponents more and more quickly. I feel like this matchup may have evolved more than any other. Maybe ZVZ could be an argument there. You might have an argument for ZVZ having evolved more, but TVT really has changed a lot, and I think it's changed for the better as well. For the viewer's experience especially. But also for the overall dexterity of Terran players, right? Like if Terran players are playing in tournaments or they're playing in, you know, sponsored matches, if you're playing every TVT and it's going to like 50 minutes long, that's not very good for your overall dexterity. It's going to really tire you out. And if you have multiple games to play, it's not great, right? It's really gonna eat up a huge amount of your practice time as well. So having shorter TVTs, I think it's better for the game. It's better for the pro players, and I think it's more exciting for the audience as well. So all valuable things, all good things coming in for TVT recently. Sock here, he spots the barracks here in the middle of the map, realizing that there's going to be a bit of pressure here from Mind. He's going to continue to produce Marines. He's going to try to come forward with a Vulture and kill the Marines of Sock. So Sock responding by just building one more Marine. That's really all you need. If Mind builds 2, you build 3. If Mind builds 1, you build 2. That's all that's necessary here, and no pressure will be had from Mind. Mind realizing that this is going to be the case, falling back with his Marines and sending in the barracks. He's going to get a better scout, a quicker scout here than Sock can get with his barracks, which is going to be floating out right now. But Sock with 3 Marines, he's going to be able to deal a lot of damage to this barracks pretty early on. Look at this. DPS on Marines is pretty good, even without stim. And the barracks does have an insane amount of health, but look at this. He's going to take about 20 to 30% of that HP off the barracks already before it even gets in the main. And I gotta tell you, that's a big deal. in these situations. That barracks is going to give you all the information you need, but if the Marines come in here and put the barracks into red HP, if they get it burning, Mind is going to have to retreat that barracks away, and he's not going to be able to keep it over top of the factories of his opponent to see, like, you know, how many factories are being added on, whether he's continuing with the Vulture War or not. So that information could be hidden here by Sock. Sock, oh my god, he's got those two Marines out here, though, and he kills two Vultures for one. Those Marines adding on their DPS, so Sock actually trying to kill off that barracks ends up really hurting him here. And now he can't actually fight with this, and he's gonna lose all his Marines. Oh no. Sock, things really falling apart here. Vulture gonna make its way into the natural, might be able to kill this SCV, building the command center. Does not see that SCV, but forces it away from the command center here. Slowing that command center down just a little bit is going to be good. And since he killed the Marines, now this barracks, despite being, you know, on fire, I don't think it's burning down right now, and it can just float over freely these factories, whereas Mind is actually going to be able to push away the barracks of Sock. So really flipping the script here, Mind doing a fantastic job utilizing those Marines to win that early Vulture fight. And with the early Vulture fight being won, able to kill the Marines as well, and now has the barracks floating over everything. This is looking really good for Mind. Only one SCV on the gas here for Sock, so really focusing on Vulture production here and getting his factory count up a bit higher, going up to 4 facts. He's going to have a ton of Vultures pumping out here soon, but I think Mind's going to get a great scout of this. He's going to be able to see everything that's coming out here. I'm actually surprised he's keeping it over the high ground right now. There's nothing that shoots up for Sock to be able to kill that. Coming forward here, I think they were very even on the Vulture count, but with the extra tank here, Mind is going to get the moving shot on these Vultures as well. He's going to be able to kill one of the Vultures, may even be able to finish off the remainder of this group. So Mind taking a huge win right now in the Vulture War. Even though he's gone for this tank, he still managed to get ahead in that Vulture fight and is going to be able to win this one as well. Tank is coming in here to the natural, and this could be just about over, my guys. It looks like Mind has just kind of outplayed Sock here in this game. Sock going to be forced back right now all the way into the natural. Great targeting here from Mind with the tank here as well. There's really no future for Sock in this fight. The tank is just dealing so much damage and soaking so many shots from these Vultures. Look at how much damage is getting done right now, killing so many SCVs. GG. Sock taps out. An amazing tactical win here from Mind. There's so much to break down there, but I'm not really qualified to explain all the ins and outs of TVT. I'll just say that the decision making there from Mind was absolutely fantastic. He had less Marines, but the fact that Sock took that losing fight against the Marines and Vultures there in that early game and then lost all the Marines of his own really hurt him there, and his ability to shut down the vision of Mind, and Mind with full vision, able to make better decisions, able to get that tank out to the front, and really it seems like his mechanics were just better as well. His rallies of the Vultures just making their way to the front faster, able to overwhelm and win the Vulture War, as well as get into that natural with the tank, and the rallies overcoming what little Sock had to defend with. Really nice TVT there, and this is exactly what I was talking about, guys. Quick TVTs, they're a thing now. We're gonna jump into our next game here, game number 3. Okay, Anna versus Senna for our top tier ladies match here. Cross map on Vermeer. Should be a fun match. I do really enjoy ZVP, although it is so tough to play. It's a little tiny bit Zerg favorite, it seems. Overall, if you take a look at the statistics, there is a slight edge to Zerg, but you really don't feel it when you play a ZVP, man. Oh my goodness, it's so hard. Just because at the highest levels it's slightly favored to Zerg doesn't really mean a whole heck of a lot when you're playing on the ladder. I find it just incredibly painful to play. Very difficult match. And there's so many things that Protoss can do to abuse the Zerg player. I think that personally, I really feel like the reason why Zerg is slightly favored in this matchup overall is just because of how many Hydra busts we've seen. And Hydra busts kind of working out at a high rate historically. I think that Protoss players have become better and better at dealing with Hydralisk busts and kind of scouting them out, sussing them out. But every time Zerg players find a new way to Hydra bust, you know, now we've got the Ling Speed Hydra bust added on. We've got, you know, more high eco Hydra busts that hit a little bit later, but actually focus on trying to break through right as Storm becomes available, or right before Storm becomes available. Every time one of those new ones is invented, it gets a very high number of wins until the Protoss players can really start to suss it out and figure out exactly how to counter that. I think that's the reason why the Zergs have that higher win rate, but for me, I try not to Hydra bust on the ladder. I try to always go into, you know, mid to late game. I'm not really trying to do, you know, big Mutalisk attacks either. I'm just using Mutalisk to defend in the early game. And it is so hard to get into your macro and have, you know, massive numbers of Hydras fighting against Storm. It's incredibly difficult to divide your Hydras and dodge Storms and, you know, get everything moving in the proper direction. It seems like just the difficulty cap on that compared to dropping Storms on units is it's hard to compare the two, honestly. But that's enough of me rambling on about Protoss versus Zerg and my struggles on the ladder. We've got Anna here about to be hit with a Hydralisk bust. So speak of the devil, Senna gonna put together a Hydralisk bust. Only has about 973 at this point, but the 3 drones are at the natural rather than at the 3rd in this particular circumstance because she did take the 3rd earlier. Okay, we're actually got 5 drones over at the 3rd, so a higher eco Hydralisk bust, but a Hydralisk bust nonetheless. Don't see any Ling speed here, so that's gotta be already feeling suspicious here for Anna. Anna squinting her eyes right now like, what are you up to? What's the deal here? I see drones popping out. I see drones, but I don't think that it's just going to be drones from here on in. And she will see the Hydralisk now. So Hydra's coming out here. That probe is gone. Cannons will be built back at home. So Anna figuring this out. She knows what's coming here. But Senna throwing down more hatches, getting into her economy, getting into her macro. Gonna send Hydras across the map to potentially take out the wall. It is a vertical wall here in Anna's natural, so that's definitely a possibility. She could just send her Hydras here to deal with that, to pick that off. But I don't think we'll be seeing her break through, unless it's going to be that later Hydralisk bust, what I was talking about earlier, where you start on Hydras, you get your economy really rolling, and then you follow up with a massive Hydralisk production to break through just before the Storm is ready. So timer has started here on Anna. When will her Storm be finished? Is she going to get it down in time? Looks like almost losing a Zealot there. Going to deal some damage in the main, maybe pick off an Overlord or two. Looks like range is now done. I don't think that upgrade is going to finish. Hopefully she's built another forge, possibly in the main base, to continue that upgrade. Losing an Overlord is annoying here. That's not a lot of cannons. You could definitely run forward if the Zealots don't react instantly to defend this. You might be able to kill off 1 or 2 cannons, and then things get really out of control very, very quickly. Coming in, she sees the number of drones. I think... Oh, the cancel. Anna being very risky here. That's a lot of Hydras. I think maybe you can break through. Is she gonna try it, though? 3 cannons, so small. That's really not very many at all. And she's sending Hydras across the map. I think she's gonna be rallying forward. She starts the cannon again. Gonna restart that cannon there. Corsair has 1 kill. Gonna be looking for a second Overlord. If she can get another Overlord, she could slow this down. But there is a Hydra waiting there, and the Corsair is already damaged. So I don't think she'll be able to get another one. Yeah, that Corsair does have to back off. Hydra's arriving here. We do have Storm probably on the way now, but no Templars here at the front. More and more Hydras popping out. I think Anna sniffed this out. This is exactly what I was talking about, guys. Oh, God. Having Hydras there rallied just a little bit too far forward. Does need to fix that as soon as possible. You cannot be losing Hydras like that. Just at the front. Here she goes. She's going to go in for it. Fighting with the Zealots. Zealots are going to be picked off. High Templar does not have energy. Does not have Storm. Pushing forward. She has to know that she's in the right time. Right at 8 minutes. Just before the Storm is done. She's got to target down this Templar. She's targeting down the cannons here. Targeting down the cannons. All the cannons are going to fall. Templar should go down as well. As the cannons fall and the Templar go down, the probes are going to fall as well. There's the Templar all being targeted. And they are gone. Zealots popping out here, just not going to be enough. Not what Anna needs right now to hold this off. And this is going to be it. GG should be called soon here as more and more Hydras rally across the map. It appears that Senna's managed to make it work, and this is what it's so funny. It's exactly what I was talking about leading up to this game, or in the early parts of this game. Is there's just a ton of different Hydra busts that have evolved over the years, and it's so hard to figure out exactly which one is coming, or if one is coming at all. And Senna here managed to pull the wool over Anna's eyes. She punishes the greed. Really, truly, that was Anna's greed there. You know, she went for a 4th cannon. She canceled it. She restarted it. She really should have had that 4th cannon done and a 5th and 6th cannon on the way there after seeing those additional Hydras popping out of the hatcheries. But being a little too greedy gets taken advantage of. We're going to jump into game number 4. Oops, I said match 4. Of course, I meant match 5. With Best here versus Ruin. This PvP should be interesting. And we've seen this, I think it was last week, or was it the week before, where we had a PvP on this map. And oh yeah, it was the week before. That's right. Oh, that was such a good match now that I'm remembering it. Who was that between? I think it was Bisu and YSC. That's right. Bisu versus YSC. Oh, that was such a good match. Oh, the memories, guys. The good memories from that PvP actually was an insanely fun match to watch. Because we saw one player go for the 3-gate goon play on this map. And it is very powerful. It's very risky, of course, if your opponent goes for DT. And it's funny in this match, like the way that the poker exchange kind of works here, because there is a low ground main base. You know, you've got the flat natural. It's really tempting to go into 3-gate goon, and in a situation where it's tempting to go 3-gate goon, then it's tempting to go for a DT to actually counter that. And we saw a 3-gate goon out of YSC. It didn't get countered by Bisu, but he held it off, and it went into a longer game. I won't spoil it. If you haven't seen it, go back and watch that game. I think it was from 2 weeks ago, or two days ago, as in day number 10, where that game just so good, guys. So good. And if this matchup continues to evolve, I think that would be amazing. I haven't really seen it yet. I feel like it's pretty much been the same for a very long time. Maybe the addition of more shuttles and High Templar drops, but that's always been a thing in PvP. This map has been, or this matchup has been sussed out pretty well over the years already. So we're just kind of seeing the poker games play out here still, with the build orders and then the way that the players are responding. We've got the probes being pushed away, single Dragoon and a Zealot here for Ruin, whereas skipping the Zealot has Best. Best going to be getting into a little bit more economy. And there it is, 3-gate Goon. 3-gate Goon. It is powerful, and it's very tempting to play. As I was stating earlier, a Nexus going to come out here for Best, and this is exactly the same as we saw between YSC and Visa so far. Are we going to see a second gateway and a robo come down? Is that what he's going to go for? Because that's exactly what Best did, and he barely managed to hold on. Barely managed to hold on against YSC. Okay, 2 more gates. All right. So 2 more gates here with the Nexus. He's going to be just slightly slower in producing his goons, but he will have triple goon coming out. And, you know, there is that rush distance. So in the time that it takes for Ruin to run his dragons across the map, maybe we'll have just barely enough out for Best to be able to hold this off, but it is going to be so close. And depending on how many probes Ruin can kill, because we'll probably have to see probes fight here from Best as well in order for him to hold this off. Depending on how many probes are lost, we might see Ruin able to get his own Nexus out a little bit later and actually even out the game. Oh no, Best. What are you doing? He's sending out his Dragoons all the way out, taking quite a bit of damage on the first Dragoon. He really needs to get the first shots off. He needs any advantage. And now the Dragoons on the left-hand side have been forced away. Oh no. All this free damage is going to be so painful for Best to have to eat here. He's going to start to lose some probes. He's going to come in from multiple angles here, bringing the probes to fight. Nice targeting here from Ruin. Just perfectly done. Just targeting down Dragoons one at a time, picking them off, fighting here with the Dragoons. One Dragoon there at the back is going to survive for quite a bit of time. Best going to be popping out 3 Dragoons at a time, but here comes 3 more Dragoons from Ruin. I think that Best is just going to end up losing this Nexus here. Nothing he can do about it right now. Ruin light years ahead in this game now. He's going to throw down his own Nexus as well, and he's going to sit in an arc outside of this natural. Looks like Best has a few more Dragoons shooting here at the natural, but now that Ruin turns and starts to target those down, he's going to take the better trade here, starting to push things back a little bit. Best going to get 3 more Dragoons, but also Ruin going to have 3 more Dragoons coming forward. The Nexus is still alive. That's huge. Very, very important that that Nexus is still here. But I think with this next push, Ruin may be able to break through here. Targeting is going to be everything. Pretty good targeting so far from Best, but now Ruin getting his own targeting going here, and there's just too many more Dragoons here for Ruin. Getting a little bit of damage in with those probes, but still, 4 Dragoons to 2. It's not going to be doable here for Best. As long as Ruin targets efficiently, he gets 1 more kill. Oh man, it's so close right now. Losing another probe here. This is exactly what I was talking about. As long as he can continue to pick off probes, Ruin should be able to get his own Nexus down and even this out. Get a few more probes here. Maybe deal some more damage to the Nexus. Going after one of these goons. He does get another shot off with that last goon before it actually gets picked. Oh, not able to avoid losing that last Dragoon. And now we're here with 2 Dragoons to 2, which is crazy. Still 2 Dragoons to 2. Now just 2 Dragoons to 1. So when those Dragoons come in once again with that additional rally here, He will have one Dragoon advantage once again. And this is crazy, guys. This is a really crazy game and a great game already here between these two players. But Ruin with a severe advantage now. 51 supply to 39. Can Bisu bring this back? We had the opposite situation in that game with YSC versus Bisu. Oh, there's a great surround. Really good surround here, actually. This could turn the tides. Actually picking off one of those Dragoons with just probes there. Now he's going to have more Dragoons than his opponent. So he can't actually push out just yet. But he is going to be able to secure his natural. So finally securing his natural. Ruin is getting into his Reavers though. And he's killed enough probes here that Best is very far behind. Oh god, if Best runs up this ramp, if he runs up this ramp, he may just leave this game because he's going to lose a bunch of Dragoons trying to back away from that position because you just cannot take an even fight. You know, 5 Dragoons on 5 Dragoons with the high ground advantage. You're just not going to win that. So he's going to back away. He's going to take his own high ground and sit here in an arc. Same thing for Ruin. Sitting in an arc here. Waiting for his opponent to make a mistake. But at the same time, he may be able to fly in with a Reaver towards the main base. Ruin may be coming in with that Reaver here soon, but Best getting in. He scouts the shuttle is out. He should expect a Reaver to be coming here, and that means he'll be able to get some Dragoons into the main base to make sure that he doesn't take too much damage here. Probe coming out for Ruin, thinking about taking his third base here. He has the advantage. He has the unit advantage. He has the worker advantage. Everything is looking good right now for Ruin. Is he going to be able to get damage with this Reaver? If he gets damaged with this Reaver, Best is dead. If he loses this Reaver for free, maybe Best can come back. All right, letting the Dragons kind of get up onto the high ground here. Unfortunate for Best. He's going to eat a big shot there from the Reaver, spreading his Dragons the best that he can, but I think there's just a few too many here for Ruin, and the addition of the damage here from the Reaver, just too much. Best's going to have to fall all the way back up here to the top left-hand corner, and Ruin is going to most likely end this game now with his next push. Maybe even before the Reaver is out. Oh no, 3 Dragoons here. Gonna lose their lives. And not even a single Dragoon kill for their efforts. Ruin coming in here. Huge advantage now. Gonna be able to kill this Nexus. Really perfectly done 3-gate play here from Ruin. Best had opportunities to perhaps hold that off, but making mistakes with his early game units, you know, being out in the front there in the early game, you know, taking damage a little bit too early there. Not going to be able to take this fight, and now that he's lost the Nexus, this game is 100% over here, pretty much. Best is going to try adding on 2 more gateways and just going for possibly Zealot and Dragoon, just all in with two Reavers here. There's still a chance that maybe Ruin completely messes up, loses his Reavers, and then we could see some sort of comeback, but oh, not able to get those shots off. He even took a shot on one of his own Reavers, so Best lost his Reaver. So painful. He really needed that Reaver to stay alive. He should have another Reaver on the way here, but he really can't afford to make one. He needs to be producing off of all of these gateways here and busting out really, really soon. Reavers being so silly. Not able to take their shots here. And he's going to try to run forward now. Loses a Dragoon for free. Everything ready here for Ruin, and Best, I guess he's going to go try to get out of the base here. Maybe try to drop the Reaver and do some damage to Ruin, but Ruin is just perfectly positioned here. He's got a lot of Dragoons at his natural. He's got a ton of Dragoons here. At Rune's natural as well. Just no chance right now for Best. He's just grasping at straws here. He's got no leg to stand on at this point, and maybe he can bust out now that there's so much back at home for Ruin. Even if he busts out, I think Ruin can come forward and deny the natural once again. He can kill that natural and just end this game. A couple of Reavers going to be placed on high ground. He's hoping for a lot of missed shots from these Dragoons so he can kill a bunch of Dragoons practically for free here. He does get 4 Dragoons without taking too much damage on his natural. In the way, he killed the Reaver, I guess. So we missed that. That was a little bit off screen. The Reaver did die for Ruin. So that shuttle and Reaver have gone down, but there should be 2 Reavers and a shuttle over at Ruin space. And he's just going to sit here on high ground with his Reavers. Take some pot shots. Free shots here for these Reavers. The 2 Reavers of Best going to land here. Try to get some shots off of their own. Counterattack coming through for Ruin. He's going to try and shut down this Nexus here. Killing off the Nexus is a galaxy brain maneuver right now. He knows that Best has to counterattack, and he needs this Nexus at the same time. So just removing one of those things has kind of removed any chance he has in this game. He's going to come back with his 2 Reavers. Looks like he might have lost the shuttle there. Nope, shuttle is still alive. And the Reavers are still alive as well. Oh, he gets another Reaver. I think he healed the shuttle as well. So Best, I mean, he's showing some good play here, but I think it's just a numbers game at this point where Best just doesn't have enough. He just does not have enough to win this game. Okay, there's the shuttle with only 9 HP. It almost died. And Best gonna try to come across the map right now. His Nexus has been so delayed. He's almost out of money in his main. Take some shots here. Does almost lose this shuttle. He does pick up though. Really good pick up there from Best. Getting a couple more shots, but just look at the Dragoon count here, guys. We need a miracle here for Best. And even a miracle, I don't think is going to be able to save him. Dragoons chasing this all down. Best not able to engage with this army. Gonna take some big shots from those Reavers. Gonna lose the majority of his forces. Does have a pretty good surround on some of these units. Gonna get some big shots with these Reavers here finally at the end of the day. My goodness, look at all the blue blood there as most of Ruin's army kind of falls in rapid succession. Looks like he's gonna just barely lose the shuttle. No, he keeps the shuttle alive, and he could get both the Reavers. Both the Reavers are gonna go down. Oh, he picks it up at the last possible second. I can't believe how many kills these Reavers have, man. I think these Reavers gotta have like 20 kills each at this point. It's really crazy. These Reavers from Best have been putting in so much work. We've still got 1 Reaver here for Ruin. He's gonna be floating around. Finally, the natural is done. Ruin gonna fly in, try to get some kills here. Oh! Oh! Oh, he almost got that. Almost killed that. 5 HP on that shuttle. Really would have been nice for Best if he'd gotten rid of that that threat there, which can fly in at any time and try to deal damage to him. So, really big threat on the map for Best right now. He's got his natural finally finished. I didn't think we were going to make it to this point, but I think this is now finally the end. I know I've said that a few times, but how are you going to defend against this, Best? Oh, takes a shot there from the 2 Reavers. Reavers here so close to the natural. He does get one of the Reavers. 1 Reaver goes down for Ruin. 1 Reaver goes down for Best. He finally kills the last Reaver. And there goes Best's last Reaver as well. GG. Best steps out. A valiant effort. But overall, outplayed there in the early game. Ruin. It's a numbers game at that point. Truly. So this week has gone just about the way I would have expected, and it looks like Shun's going to be very happy with these results. Team Light, so far ahead right now. I don't know if we can see a comeback here, and if Team Light gets through, yeah, Shun's going to be very, very happy. I'll be happy as well. Not that I'm not a fan of Team Best, but I really think that Light has done a better job with his drafting this season. Killer, a great Zerg player to pick up. Gonna be facing off this ZVZ on cross map as well. Guys, are we gonna get a long ZVZ? I hope so. Love to see it. Really love to see it. I've casted a ZVZ a couple of games on the channel recently, and I have some more that I'm planning to release soon that were fantastic ZVZs. It was with Xiao Shuai, if you've... No. Yeah, Xiao Shuai. And the ZVZ we saw actually went to split map, guys. They split the map in half. If you've never seen a ZVZ like that, I definitely recommend you checking it out. I thought we were going to get to a mine out situation in that game, but it didn't quite make it there. We even saw offensive Nidus in that game. It's just so much fun. There's so many things that can happen, that can actually occur in ZVZ. Once it gets to the late game, once you get like beyond 4 base, 5 base, 6 base, it just gets insane. There's so many weird things that can occur. You can get Nidus, of course, offensive Nidus. You can get Lurker. You can go into Queen, and that's kind of what we saw from that Xiao Shuai match, is that Queen is the ultimate weapon in the late game of ZVZ. Because really what you want to do is you're getting into all these mutas, and then once Hive is done, Lurker becomes really strong because there's going to be cracklings on the field. You're fighting a lot in the air with your mutas, and if you've just got about 2 to 3 Lurkers at one base, crackling just does nothing. It does nothing at all. So Lurker just becomes insanely strong. And then with the Defiler, you can't plague Lurker when it's underground. But Dark Swarm is insanely good. So Dark Swarm on top of Lurker is just so good. And then you get Hydra, and Queen can Broodling Lurker and Defiler, and they can also Broodling Ultra. So once you get into that Lurker play, Hydra versus Hydra with Lurkers, you're going to want Queens to kill the Lurkers under Dark Swarm. And then Ultra is basically meaningless. You don't want Ultra at all, is what I found. Because Ultra's, like, there is no better value in the entire game than a Broodling on an Ultra. It is just so good. And look, guys, we've already got mirrored builds here pretty much from Killer and Hyuk. Hyuk did get a bit more of an early advantage from these builds, but both players have their naturals up. They have Spires at nearly the same times here. And the Ling number is very similar as well. Killer gonna have to run away here. He's gonna lose 1 Ling for free. He will have to build some Lings back at home. And meanwhile, I think Hyuk will be able to drone a little bit here. Sunken Colony is done though. And actually, Hyuk leaving some Lings at home. He's a bit worried about a counterattack coming through here. Ling's gonna make it up this high ground, just barely slipping by the Lings of Hyuk. Getting into a defensive position here. Gas is coming up for both players. Hyuk gonna send Lings around the long way, trying to avoid vision, but he will end up running into this Overlord. Just barely seeing these extra Lings coming forward. And we might see this end early, guys. I did talk up the late game ZVZ quite a bit, but it is possible that Hyuk just breaks him here, bringing out the drones to fight as well. Drones do block a lot of surface area for these Lings. He targets down the drones, though. Most of those drones have fallen. Lings are going to pop out here soon, and the Sunken Colony actually tanking quite a lot of damage. However, Lings still being filtered forward here. This might be it. Oh, 1 Ling managing to make it into the main. Getting some drone kills here would be huge. Ling's going to be popping out here soon. Spire being under fire. Really impactful attack here. Actually, Hyuk, I think he's done it with the kills on that Spire. How are you ever going to recover here as Killer? Killer cutting a few too many corners here, not expecting this overwhelming number of Lings. It's gonna have some Scourge coming in as well. He does lose one Muta to the Scourge, and finally getting back to mining here, but we've already got mining in the natural for Hyuk. He still has a good number of drones there in his own main base. He didn't produce any Mutas, but he's eventually going to be able to overwhelm with Mutas. I think that Killer's only chance right now, take his Mutas that he's got right now, try to go across the map and just flood Lings. He's just going to flood Lings from this position. I don't think... Oh! Evolution Chamber. Okay. He's going to try. He's going to try to hang on here. This is not what I was expecting. I really thought that he was going to just go for broke, throw it in, Hail Mary, full Ling production, and try to overwhelm Hyuk here. But he's actually going to bait the Mutalisk away from the natural, it looks like. Oh, no, he didn't. The Mutalisk end up going back. But I thought maybe he was going to be able to get the Mutalisk to, you know, come after these Mutas here. Oh, he's going to go for a two-pronged attack. He's going to come in with the Lings and the Mutas at the same time. Try to kill as many drones as he can and just transition into a spore play. Flying through here. He's killing quite a bit of drones in the natural. Lings are going to go for the main now. Try to kill as many drones as they can. Killing a few drones here. 2, 3, 4, 5 drones maybe going down. And the Lings mostly survive. Lings here in the natural trying to kill this Gas Geyser. Gas Geyser, if that's a kill, it could be pretty impactful. Looks like he's just going to run away with the 4 drone, or with the 4 Lings. How many drones do we have back at home for Killer? How many drones do we have for Hyuk? I think it's a very, very close thing right now in terms of the number of drones we have here. Ooh, loses one. Muta, unfortunate there for Killer. Does fall back all the way to this Spore. Spore going to be defending this Spire here. He cannot defend the natural, though. Natural has nothing here. No Spore. And no Lings or anything to defend that. So, GG. Killer taps out. Hyuk gonna take that game. And I am super glad that we saw Hyuk take that one down. I'm a little bit disappointed we didn't get into a long ZVZ, but Team Best really needed a win there. That was match point, and we're gonna be able to get a spin on the wheel finally. Team Best on the ropes right now. But we'll see which matchup gets replayed, and if whoever gets taken or gets picked here for Team Best, who can actually take a win here. If they can take a win, we will continue. If not, Team Light is going to advance. Let's see that wheel. Let's see that spin. It's coming right up. All right, I definitely understand the bans here for Team Best deciding to choose to ban that 815 versus Light matchup, and banning the Hydra Bust matchup there, Senna versus Anna. I guess it does make sense. I'm hoping to see either a Sock versus Mind rematch, or maybe even Hyuk versus Killer. I'm not the biggest fan of PvP, so I'm just a little bit biased. That was still a great match between Best and Ruin. Let's jump in and see the spin. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, set 3. All right. Sock versus Mind. The rematch. Let's jump in. All right, I'm happy. Let's go. TVT rematch. Got Sock here in the top. Mind down in the bottom right. So reverse positions here from our last game between these two. And I think that Sock, you know, he had a pretty good eyeball in that game. He had a pretty good idea in that game. Made sense what he was doing. You know, he had those extra Marines. I felt like he was going to be able to take that one, but some small mistakes were made, and especially with the early vultures, right? Like, if you're going to be with your Marines back at home, killing off the barracks, why would you need to leave your vultures out on the map? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Could have kept those back in his natural, in a more defensive position, just pushed away the barracks and then moved with the Marines and the vultures together. But Mind, realizing that those Marines were not present and catching the vultures out on the map, he got that control. He got that early game advantage, the momentum. And it matters so much now, the momentum. I feel like TVT has moved into an almost ZVZ-like experience. Do you know what I mean, guys? Like, the momentum is so big, you know? For such a long time, ZVZ has been that matchup where it's like, oh, you lost one Ling in the early game? Huh, that means you're at a disadvantage, you know? Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to win this one now, but... Or one drone, you know? One drone ends up getting picked off. It's like, oh man, you're really far behind now. But, these days in DVT, it's like, oh, you lost one vulture. Oh man, I don't think you're gonna be able to catch up. Because the vulture war is just that close. It's that serious in this match. If you miss a supply depot, man, holy, you could just end up getting completely overwhelmed by the vulture war, the rallies of your opponent. So I think that this match is much more volatile than it used to be, and I think that's it's a great thing. It's cool to see. We're gonna see the SCV coming in here. Sock gonna see 2 Marines, and you know he might produce 2 Marines. He's only got 1 right now in the natural, so at a slight disadvantage. But these Marines are all the way across the map. They're not gonna be pressuring him, so maybe he'll just be fine with only having 1 Marine. Having a slightly faster CC here at the natural should be a little nice advantage there, but actually both of them getting thrown down at the same time. Sock just has a little bit more minerals to work with, but he is going to be just slightly behind on that CC timing. And look at that, Vulture first for Sock, along with a starport, and mine just going directly into a machine shop. So divergence here already in the early game. Sock is going to have that 1 vulture, which could end up picking off some Marines, maybe even slowing down this natural. No, Vulture's just going to sit there. So unfortunately, Sock does not know that there's no vulture out here for mine, because if he did, he could come over here and kill this SCV on the command center, maybe even kill these Marines. But now mine is going to get away with getting a tank out first. And with this tank out now, you cannot come in here with the vulture. So really, mind out mind gaming, I think, in this one. Really, truly. Doing a great job. Getting the tank out early here. And I would say mind advantage right now. It's like the bunker ends up getting canceled. He was thinking about building that, but just going to go ahead and pop out his own tank. He's going to be 1 tank behind, though. We will have a second tank out here shortly for mine, and mine pushing across the map with a couple of Marines here. Not enough to actually stop a Wraith, though. So when the Wraith comes, this will have to retreat. But let's see how much damage mine can get. Can he actually get a kill on the tank? I don't think so. Vulture here gonna make very short work of this of these Marines right now. There we go. Two tanks, 1 vulture, 2 Marines versus 2 tanks, 1 vulture, 1 Marine, and a Wraith. Mines are done. Does mine just throw down mines here at the front? Is he going for an engineering bay and turrets right now? Maybe he gets turrets up here in the front and really hurts Sock going right after this tank. I think he's gonna kill this tank instantly. Tank goes down so fast. Does throw down a mine there at the front. Getting mines down here is really good. Mine's on top of all of this. He's trying to kill this other tank. Doing his best. I think he gets it. He gets the other tank, but he loses 1. So 2 tanks killed. And mine gonna go after this 3rd tank, throwing down mines right inside the natural here. Getting the mines pretty close, but a lot of them being targeted down by this vulture. Good surrounds here with the SCVs to keep these units alive. But now mine gonna deal some damage on the SCVs here. Does get pushed back. Oh, first mine dealing some damage. Really good work here by mine. Can he actually... Oh, he loses his tank. He was pulling the SCVs and the Goliaths to try and keep that alive, but unfortunately losing the tank means I think this push has been held. The push should be held back from here. But Mind, killing 2 tanks, losing 2 tanks, everything looking pretty well even at this point. Has Mines in the front, but there's the scan to clear them out. Sok gonna move forward and not be trapped in his natural here. And so things are going to even out. 49 supply to 48. Everything looking like we're headed for a late game. So I keep saying that these Terran games, TVT games, don't seem to go long, but it appears that both players have survived, right? Mind has tried to get that early game damage, but everything pretty well even after all is said and done. But a few Goliaths out here for Mind, and Sok taking a nice defensive position here. This is a position where he can potentially take, you know, his fourth or his third base there at the gas. On the false high ground, he can take his base over there at the mineral only as well. But this is not a great spot. You want to be a little bit farther forward than this in order to take more than half of this map, because this is a 3-player map. You do not want to cede all of this space here to Mind. Mind, if he sets up, like, for example, just a little bit farther north of here, he could cut off the bases here on the center left. And Sok going into a dropship, this is completely expected. Mind, he's got a tank in his main base, all sieged up already. He's even got a Goliath over there. So this shouldn't do much damage. This is exactly what you expect as Mind after the early game with the Wraith. You went for the Wraith. It's obvious that you're going to build a dropship after that. And Sok, he's going to try and get some damage. But I don't think that much will come of this. Mind completely ready. And there it is. Push back immediately here. And I'm going to try and drop, maybe stop this command center from starting, but no. Mind all over this. So Mind really showing his class in these games so far. Going to set up his mines here in the no man's land between the 2 tank lines. Hasn't really set up his tank line just yet. He's just keeping everything mobile. I have a couple of tanks over here. Sok actually has, I think, the tank advantage right now, but not really pushing it. You know, he's not moving forward with these tanks at all. He's just sitting and holding a little position here, sending out vultures around and starting to take his mineral only there at the top right. So getting into that third base. Conservative play here from Sok, I would say, whereas Mind being a lot more aggressive, looking for advantages that he can take, looking for decisions that can get him a lead in this game. And so far, I'm more impressed with Mind. I think Mind may be the better TVT player overall. Sok, you know, he's shown a lot of potential, and even getting picked first by Best, really showing the kind of expectations that the pro players have for this Terran player in the future, thinking that, you know, he may be one of those up-and-coming Terran players who ends up being in a caliber someone like Rush, like Royal, who has, you know, gone deep in the ASL. But we'll see here soon whether that trust is misplaced or not. Sok here starting to shove forward, starting to take a little bit more ground. Has a large contingent of tanks moving around the left-hand side, and this is really what he has to do. He has to move to take a little bit more ground here, to take a bit of a better position. He's starting to, as you can see, kind of go-esque play, wrapping around the top side here, around the top left of those units, setting up here in an arc that'll make it hard for Mind to get out onto the map with his vultures to secure additional bases. Couple wraiths here at the front. Sok is leaving a bit of an opening though. If Mind brings everything together and tries to break through towards the natural of Sok. That could be a really good play here. Sok getting all of his rallies right out towards this kind of weaker defensive position, but this is really what TVT is all about, right? Looking for the weakest defensive position and then using your forces to break through. And has Mind identified that yet? Where is the position the weakest for Sok? And will he be able to get out on the map and deal some significant damage? Will he be able to push any of these positions back? Looks like a Wraith finally coming out here. He's going to be able to catch this dropship, especially with the two Goliaths coming out here. Dropship is gone. Well done. Ooh, Sok pushing forward now. Mind not having enough, actually, here in the center. And that position getting broken right now is huge. Wraiths coming through here on the left-hand side as well. Sok putting on a really good show for himself right here. He's killed all the Goliaths there on the right-hand side with that breakthrough. And at the very same time, Cloak Wraiths coming in, killing a bunch of tanks, giving Sok a much better position in this game. He even kills that tank with very low HP. You know, isolating that, realizing that that was vulnerable. Getting a tank here on the left-hand side. He's going to push forward once again. This is +2 attack on these tanks. So this is really the timing where you can push forward and take these big advantages. He's going to be able to take this tank down here on the left-hand side. And now he's just about in range of the CC. And his tank count is very, very high right now. He's going to be able to continue to push forward. Pushing up here. He's going to get the siege before Mind once again. Oh, man, this is so bad for Mind. Look at all those tanks just explode in a fury here of tank fire. Beautiful siege up there. Beautiful move forward by Sok. And it feels like, really, Mind had the better play in the early game, but Sok, a little bit more solid, pulling ahead here in the mid game. And taking massive, massive advantages. Breaking through with these vultures. Going to kill this tank with the mines. He could move towards some of these extra outposts. Look at this sieging. He's sieging way faster than Mind here. Mind just a little bit behind the times. Whenever the siege happens, it feels like Sok just gets that up a little bit faster. Not the greatest targeting from Sok there, but he still wins that fight. And he's up here repairing all of his injured tanks. He's dealing damage to the CC there, the third base. The CC's actually been lifted off, excuse me. So just long distance mining from that position. He even prevents this CC from finishing here at the bottom left. And Sok is just mining like crazy. Oh, he's going to get this. He's going to get this. We need more SCVs to actually repair this. In Mind trying to take a base in the center right, I don't think that's going to happen. If Sok finds out about that, he'll just send vultures immediately. And GG! Oh my goodness, Sok! Great, great play there from him. Getting a win over Mind to shut him down in that first game. And bringing Team Best back into this one. Almost evening out this series. We're going to have another spin here. I thought that Team Best was going to end up getting knocked out, but Sok really proving his worth and his value as that first pick for Team Best. Let's see which match is going to be replayed next, and if either team wants to change their bans. Let's find out. All right, as you can see, Team Light choosing to change their bans. That's interesting to me, but we're going to go into this spin now and find out which team or which matchup will be replayed. Here we go. Set number 6, ZVZ, Hyuk versus Killer. Gonna be our match number 8. Let's jump right in. All right, our ZVZ rematch here. Doing Killer and Hyuk. Hopefully we do get that late game ZVZ. It was close last game, but just getting overwhelmed by Lynx. It does happen. It does happen. And it used to happen pretty much every game. Either you would win with Lings, or you'd win with Mutas. But you know, things have changed over time, slowly but surely. We've gotten longer and longer. We've gotten more and more better at dealing with those Ling attacks and Muta intricacies. The back and forth has been kind of sussed out in this matchup. Both Killer and Hyuk going to be hitting the exact same build here. Very standard and easy build to land in this match. It's probably the first build that you should learn if you're going to be playing ZVZ. Just overpool with the gas right afterwards. You get the gas, you'll have enough minerals to start your layer right away, and then you can get into speed right on after. You can go for speed first if you want to, and you just keep building Lings here, just non-stop Ling production. And yeah, if you're gonna go for speed, you're gonna have to play a little bit more defensively. All right, you're gonna have to play more aggressively. Excuse me. If you go for layer first, you're gonna have to play more defensively. And here we've got both players going for layer first. Both players probably gonna get speed next, and they're spreading out their Lings here at the front. And you know, we might see when players start to scout each other here, we might see one of them or maybe both of them cancel their speed and go directly into a hatchery. We'll just have to find out here. All right, getting a few free shots there on that first Hyuk Ling. Not losing it though. Killer. Tiny advantage, but I think both players focusing majority on their production here. Let's see if a drone's going to pop out for Killer or not. Killer did not build a drone. Hyuk did. So now Hyuk does have to fall back. Another drone. Okay, getting kind of greedy here. I think that Killer will just be producing non-stop Lings and trying to break. It'll be up to Hyuk to get this perfectly walled in here before the Lings arrive. It's close, but he does get it all set up. And now it's going to be very hard for Killer to bust in here. See, look at how many Lings are actually attacking every time that Killer tries to break this. Spire has started for both players, but Hyuk definitely has that advantage in overall drone count. Lings continuing to be sent across the map here, but that rush distance, as per usual, making a difference. I think we've got Killer with the speed, and actually Hyuk decided to cancel that, so he doesn't have speed here, but he's got defender's advantage. You don't really need speed if you've got just that nice wall of Lings at the front. You're not going to be moving at all. Just going to be waiting for the enemies to be coming towards you. And I actually like Hyuk's position a little bit better here, but it's all going to come down to the fight here at the front. How's it going to go? Pretty good so far for Hyuk, baiting these Lings to come forward here on the right-hand side and aggress into Hyuk right now. Oh, that's quite a lot of Lings from Killer. Hyuk going to have a little bit of a hard time holding this off. He's running out of Lings here. Killer actually going to take this fight, and the Sunken Colony's not done. Sunken Colony needs to finish right now. Where's that Sunken Colony? Oh, is the Sunken Colony in range to actually protect this Spire? Is it actually in range to hit these Lings? No! It can't hit the Lings! Oh my god, a huge mistake here from Hyuk. Not placing his Sunken Colony in range to hit this. Oh my god. He's dead. He's dead. All his drones are dead. He's lost so much. So many drones went down there. Oh god. Guys. Hyuk didn't place the Sunken Colony close enough to the freaking Spire. What the hell am I looking at? These are professional players. Oh my god, Hyuk. He's thrown it all away. All right, Team Light's gonna go on, guys. That's GG. 17 supply to 22. Of course, I mean, Hyuk. A miracle needs to happen right now. He's just gonna produce Scourge here, just pure Scourge. And if Killer doesn't micro, if Killer just lets all of the Scourge hit his Mitas, then Hyuk might win. But if he has any micro at all here, if he dodges any of these Scourge, then Hyuk will just straight up lose this game. Hyuk basically has to kill all of the mutas here, take no damage. He already lost the muta to one of the Scourge. So one of the Scourge hit, and none of the Scourge of Hyuk hit. Killer totally outplaying Hyuk in this game. And Hyuk making some massive mistakes. Taps out. GG. Killer takes it home for Team Light and takes them into the next round. Team Best has been eliminated. Oh, God, Hyuk. That is a painful, painful loss, my dude. My goodness. Oh, boy. It's going to be some time before Hyuk can live that one down, guys. Yikes. Yikes indeed, Hyuk. Oh, man. What the hell, dude? That sunken positioning. So bad. And ends up taking the L there for his team. Team Light gonna move forward. Then go up against Team Hero, which I'm not at all disappointed about. I would have loved to see a final set between Light and Best, of course. But it is what it is, guys. We didn't make it to the ace match, so I'll have to throw an anti-spoiler here on the end. I definitely enjoyed the TVTs there. PvP was excellent as well. A little bit unfortunate 815's performance there against Light. Kind of no surprise though. I mean, some of these weeks we get crazy upsets. I mean, Best getting taken down was a little bit surprising, right? That was a bit of an upset, but other than that, it was pretty straightforward here this week. Team Light, no surprise going forward. Next up, we got Team Snow versus Team Queen. That's going to be coming out tomorrow, my time, guys. Tomorrow. So we've got tons more KCM for you. So make sure to like the video and subscribe. Support the channel if you can. And I'll see you in the next video. Here's them making much the deal sent. There and I. So at the one now for the busy Hirsch name. He's get myself with Alex Valve no yeah, little for me. There's nights. That's it. Her these in the shift if you're up to was there and I get a cause because I need if you're resist yeah like sit down a little bit on Nielsen out in the shiz finish off no. Hey, the Valve no yeah what makes us get yell. He's niche life by the fellow Valve no it's all simple. Hurry night New York City is doing. Hurry Mississippi with all of I mix a snurk, see the must not this kind of get just kind of get hell. Close down in the area, harvester who's sitting like get him near him. Fail for no air free, he'll believe I missing you on. Hurry, Lord, I'll be cautious as this kind of skiffer, so the scan on. The med law, snurk, sit down out, fail for no air find area, he'll believe is it. Well, sit at. Well, I'm getting the fiddle. I'm a sarcasm like a circle, look from out, find out. Who's fine seen and Snurks at those Nishanik if Erpsy Neil if Erpsy or Clive. See not very Scandic Snurks is fine. CV7 Oxgilly. Who's fine and a gazodim. Very here the nose nil on over. Oh, Nixie. Oh, and Edward yeah, I know Snurks, so now Snurksy, or a Snurks singly. Fail for no way. Now, nah, he's just numbs. Snare, spinning a pot, sitting in him. Either watching if sneers and on all self magnificent I'm getting a shit like the she line like ear clives itself and I give himself an ear more for the that get that up there in that earth mouth by like you see neither. And the reason needed a little hold on, sister out. Hurry, she might come on, the cat must sing it, she might even say must sing it. Fail from the way. Boss, that rather what there's the fussly. I'm back to slap by ear clive one, the she was her here, on his ear. See, here you have opposite ear clive minute and I'd see it over see it up. Well, I'm the first standing in our meal got on see. Or stand and the clerk passing. The she will send that for the knock is done. Stir slowly this nickname. Oh, standing knife, but I don't see. The girl was getting them making a convoy, the making a concert, yelled up now learning the Cyrus dressing the gear when the shizips in the pussy. I'm not to exterior steer. Lorstein, the gear now, Mr. City in the law and in here. Foom and the Gimsy here, but this is in so in city. Name and it's their skis valve, you'll scare but that's their stroke. Now let him in the stairs valve. Pioneer heroes there need to go. Helps and if all ones to dress the Ricky is. So the mid out the in my deep size and this is so the no scrap the master world and the emerald or stand and the walk here yellow find the shit but in my do sahil sky fun they even know concert and there he be sending it exerting in back. I can develop that in now from you exiting this will be use the basis I can develop that day you find you know that race it in for bombs. I can love you that steps hell but him the opposite such to it. He's that stable amount out lying your revolve no else when I go sit it out scaler so I ain't nail van as I see fell no way. Them on your vets near Rome arms in that live here nips Eric over the Shin bit Sahar Manil. He's sneaking your come up and the else person just I'm not gonna come up rhythm. She saw a series and he gets neither yell. Plus, and now learn him in their own no weekly it's not I was now learn him in their own maybe sure they're here so there are upstairs need a medical upstairs and must like he's dressing in my galaxy. So him sooner neither real on to carry him. If I makes it back and itself no way it isn't a little so I Sacker not bad like he snaps or something listen. That night no not be stir such nine every this needy lost that stir strong yeah or stand to see snacks. And Max still passes because when you can get your vessel and just yell. The dog used to like snapping it out. So I agree that's the valve not making it out, or not that I give no one. Well, I was that stir see. And I get what's the need that's an invisible at it. But live. Who's he selling him surfacing his will. Very valve no way. Horse. Oh, Miller A. M. R. from Oxted. And they law him stash. And they lock celery mates is it? Hurry, I'll get rid of snow if you ask it for, but that's what salary values. Either raw or eating a Louis Fadaxi, and this is it's in more single vapor buggies. And if you all guess it'll be as if because she knew out or if you have no either. I can get off me mixed the law, or else they're all the one is it him, such age now meter. Still, I'm never celery miller, sooner for the main was yours. Sakin now more stand at the North near I can also find there the law sit valve no way now. Well, I was that mountain decision for a hill stand and the earth mountain decision if mix on name and the earth. The illusion of the there are such that odds there still where you valve facility the mom cause gate. Shin if the girls there see this. Skate the what get off proceeding is that yeah, there's the rest. He's sneaking to him so that you know but see. Ring Max those passes on you. One that's no. Max surf at the Alps. Hey, like so the beating us up. We think our for this next circle out that it'll soft net. Snap smack that. You're here. Like Miss Yell. So Phoenix is thinking of live. Give me a very even excited. Schnui so if you set surf annually. We here like either if you set surf at the we live. Then you Healer Navy Sandikas and Yalla. Fell from nowhere. Hurry, rush the get on. Southern I can see Nicola, but the guys get. Who's neat like that? Sir, so the way. Wasn't the scutter near him, and the scutter be set in a sick wolf, Nicky, whatever race that's Moxie. I just need this you sales for a girl. Fuck, oh, seen it. Hey, but you know, this one. Hurry up, the boss, he fell from nowhere. And you max the wheel passes, because when where he sits in the chamber from the law. And he's thinking you're writing it like in the same name, reaching it, it never see Larry like that power. And this mucky if he sets in that will was small, they can't be here with that, so we can always near vermin as easy. Funny to sit like considering you'll know, so we need spam sarcas and gallery on this and on. Who this here, I get my sister spam sarcas and you'll see hello. And that's Valve no way illustrated and hearing the bill sending you Sarah then that'll be the sess in the somewhat see Eric out like a sleep. Hey, we set. He learning is learn that name. Valve cautious smash to Eric out one. What's that? Hurry, he'll this Stephanie Leah. Hail. Who's fine, Alexi, yeah, little phrase, no, not for no. That's right, that's the meal, the horse. Nej, ikke er spærf, når vi er der, men ikke ser sådan en levende vi mere, for når man er sådan en evne. Girl, fæller, girl, me likes that, vi kan være med det. Girl, brother, mon cheffer, min æggelne, girl, der ne. On cheffer, snak. Se, healer, vi siger, søler vand, som er, det bare i server, i nærheden, og ikke er stiv, vi siger. Sæt sig fandme. Så er det lady middel net beherskningen ikke var sådan. And I'm a caller and a miracle singing a first non yellow. Ui, but funny, it's not yours, and even I'm a skipper, but that's that. He did their skip. You would see, oh, Sam was immediately boy, breathe on the chamber from the elf, too. Who is New York City, else, I give them a soft set, and who's Sa, if he says that there's thinking it. Look at her healer, Evie said that a ring on valve no is by it. No, said that a chamber from the Ixel sire, that's an advocacy. And I don't think it ever see snobs from the we know you sit up. And this shower regular must have scan. Who is Sahi, that's one. Her ain't not need a rock society can see snitting in a gill. Hails with Cafadadu to the basic face on. Makes in the race no abs regular real. They're not ifsick. This regular real for her elmer sit like it. And they went out for our send a gizzish must well sit. We the skelly help. Her elf make yell not see the make yell and yell off stand by iller. On see the one you fell for no is exact but snap says the best so I was it. Was side get the wolf off. Side get the way for that great live but fuck it's certainly was. Fjaf no easy. Oh, flow here is needed. Hurry, side, but smack that vessel. That's up, get him near. Smash the way, those such smatter. Hero. Ma, making all one in the wheel, she didn't have this here. This is the fan orphan. Hurry, Fjaf no even as making the circle red off the way, this now we. Hurry, elf work, I'm her home stumsy in the shark gailer of a Neferan Yelskar ate that thing in the corner was cellular, then a mere station. Stir, like bellies and country like breath sound of scam a little bit. Serial, see, look, their first Allah, Stalla. Still, no crossing it, but now Miss has the opposite. Easy, we snore break here, make or baby no exist. The upside illustration did enough games tell it, now silent that nerf stolly the Linux makes it heard even not he make no scan names notice that it scale is off no it series in the but it has skipped so my out and they get this nice